Welcome back, everybody. This is our fifth entry into the world of F1. Welcome to the episode of Gossip Girls, where we talk about the latest news
Oh,
of F1.
hold on, Juan. Hold on. I'm getting information from my sources. Kimi Räikkönen going to IndyCar confirmed.
Wait,
No,
are you
I'm just
serious?
kidding. No, he's
Oh
retiring.
my gosh, I was like, this motherfucker, he's done it all.
Breaking news.
That's funny. Yeah, so the first topic of today's episode is actually going to be Kimi Räikkönen. As you're well aware of, he's decided to retire at the end of this season. And what a legacy it's been for Kimi Räikkönen.
Ripe old age at 41.
41 years old and still racing cars that do like 5G impact on your body. I
Oh,
know
more than that.
I know we've heard various drivers talk about that you lose like 4 kilograms or kilopounds.
Kilogram. Kilos, yeah. Kilopounds. Ooh, yeah, no, yeah. The metric system is not our friend.
No. As Americans, I don't even know still what 4 kilos is. I'm just going to assume that that means roughly around 8 pounds.
Yeah, well, we won't get into that. We won't get into it.
So with Kimi Räikkönen, I did want to do kind of a tribute to him because he's one of my favorite drivers. And I just got into the sport not too long ago, and I got introduced to him the same way that everyone else got introduced to him. Where are my gloves? The drink. Is the drink connected? Yes or no? The other video, my favorite one is where he's like reaching out to his engineer and he's like, "Can you hear me?" And they're like, "No, Kimmy, we cannot hear you." And he's like, "But you answer still." It's like they go at it for like 30 seconds. It's been one of
No,
my favorite
his
videos.
radio chatter is the best in the game.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no one better. Shut up, I know what I'm doing. Is the only thing I remember from his NASCAR stint was him getting pissed off that the water wasn't connected. You will have no drink. So the drink's not connected. I can't. There's nothing coming out. Kimmy, you
Yeah.
won't have a drink.
It's been an interesting career. We do have some kind of highlights in terms of what he's been able to achieve over the past, well, basically in his career. So he's actually had 341 Grand Prix entries, and there's another metric that at the end of the season, he's actually going to have completed 350. So it's a really cool number to end your career on. So this is number one of all time for drivers. Nobody else has this many Grand Prix, which is pretty cool. In those 341 races, he has managed to achieve 103 podiums, which is top 5 podium achievers so far. He's managed to accomplish 46 fastest laps, which is number 3 of all time. 21 Grand Prix wins, 2007 World Champion, and 18 poles. This guy is extremely decorated. He's achieved so much in his time. And obviously, with a driver of his caliber, the reason he's still in the sport is because of how good he was and is. Maybe that's arguable now for this season, right? But maybe the Alfa Romeo team needs to get their stuff together. But, over the past few years, he has achieved so much. And we love Kimi. We love his antics during the interviews because those interviews, we all know, they're pretty fucking dumb. But he's kept them entertaining with, his one-liners. So, shout outs to Kimi. He's an absolute legend.
Oh
Anything
yeah.
you want to say?
Yeah, what I never knew about him is he drove the V10, the V8, and the V6 hybrid engines.
Wow.
So he went across I couldn't imagine, at 41 years old, switching over, because I mean, they have to be completely different cars, surviving and adapting to each change year
Yeah.
after year, decade after decade. I mean, it's amazing. I couldn't imagine driving those V10s. Just the ability he has to adapt, on top of him driving in different competitive racing and
Yeah.
coming back. I mean, that is truly a feat to behold.
Yeah, so he's 41. He started in his very first entry was in 2001. And in that time, he's actually managed to do a couple of different sports, right? So just like you touched on, he started off with F1, at least in a professional career, right? And he moved to other leagues after a few years in F1, right? He raced for Ferrari, which is like one of the notable brands. And I think when he came back, he actually came back to Ferrari as well. So he raced for Ferrari twice.
Yeah, his championship was with Ferrari.
Yep. So and I think he's the last Ferrari champion. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure no one else has won in the last few years other than Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg. So, he's managed to achieve a lot. And I think it was in 2010. Yeah, 2010 was when he left Formula One, and he decided, you know what, it's time to do some rally car. And I think his stint there wasn't too long, but he actually ended up doing some rally car, which, in my opinion, like if there was one motorsport that I could actually do physically, I would want it to be rally car, just because it's so cool. And it's like,
It's the absolute craziest thing in the world, but yeah.
yeah, no, and it's all about finishing, in my opinion. I mean, yeah, obviously it's better to get the better time, but if you can prove to people that you can finish the race and not throw it off a curb or something, that's perfect. You've proven that you're able to keep a car during all this craziness on the track.
Wait, did you know this? Ken Block in 2010 when Kimi Raikkonen was driving, Ken Block was also driving
Oh, wow.
for the Ford Rally, the M Sport Ford Rally motorsport team. So he drove against Ken Block.
Wow. Yeah, and Ken Block from the Gymkhana
Insane.
videos is absolutely insane. He's probably one of the most famous persons to do that, huh?
Oh, well, he's definitely most popular in terms of YouTube and clout in the days of having, being on the Monster Energy or whatever the hell that rally car is, getting to do all those crazy stunts and the things.
Mm-hmm.
Hoonigan, that's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know he recently left. I think he was with Ford, right, for like a ton of years, and then he recently just joined Subaru, which I think that's appropriate because Subaru is like one of the top brands. When I think rally cars, I always think of the Subaru car.
You don't think of the Ford Focus RS with the
I
little
mean,
baby
because of
wing?
Ken Block, I do, but now because when I think of like a Subaru from like the '90s, I think that was like their iconic
Oh
era
yeah.
where
Oh
they
yeah.
were like dominating everything. And I don't know the champion person that was in that, but that was the person that was winning a bunch. So I think of now because of Ken Block, I think of that of a Ford RS or whatever the name of that car is, and now for him to be with Subaru, it just seems perfect. I know Kimi also did a NASCAR stint. I think he was only in it for a few races. I don't think he did too much with NASCAR, but he was in the NASCAR trucks. Because when I originally looked this up, I thought he was in the NASCAR cars, like I don't
Yeah,
know what
he
it's
he
called.
did the cars as well.
Okay, so I thought
Yeah.
he was just in the trucks because the videos
He
that I'd
did
seen
the
from
he was
him.
with Kyle Busch Motorsports and then he did the Camping World Truck Series. So he did both.
Oh, okay, so I didn't know that.
But
And
they're both NASCAR. That's like the
gotcha.
brand that's under.
Okay,
So when people
gotcha.
say NASCAR, it's like, yeah, there's a lot of different races and cars and trucks, obviously, that they drive under the NASCAR name.
Yeah,
But yeah,
so
I
the
mean,
fact
he
that he
didn't
was
really,
able to
he
do
didn't do too great in anything
them.
but F1. But still, I
F1,
mean, just
yeah.
just the ability to win a championship, change completely different sports, essentially, which is, I mean, a completely different sport.
Hmm.
I like just rally car in general is insane. And then doing NASCAR and yeah, the World Truck Series. I mean, those are a completely different spectrum from end to end of the racing world. I
Yeah.
was waiting for him to do MotoGP, get on a 200 horsepower motorcycle and
Yeah,
fly.
that's
That
funny.
would have been incredible if he capped it off with that.
So that I mean, Kimi's legacy is undeniably he's had a huge impact on the sport. He's been really funny. He's been really enjoyable for the crowd because you listen to these interviews from these F1 drivers and they all sound the same. Like it was funny because I think we were hanging out the other day, William, and I was able to like formulate these typical F1 response, that all these drivers throughout the past like 10 years, 20 years have done. And Kimmy, like you ask him questions and he's like, it's like, is F1 your favorite thing in the world? And he's like, well, it's just a hobby for me.
Yeah, he didn't go by the script that they give him.
No,
You know,
absolutely
the
not.
you talk to the Williams drivers and it's like they're reciting a script.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're saying the same things over and over and kind of reciting the script, just like you said. Kimmy, we really love you. We're going to miss you. I definitely look forward to seeing you live. Hopefully, I can get a picture with you. Hopefully, by then I've stop being lazy, and I order a damn jersey.
Yeah, I think we need to get decked out in Kimi Raikkonen gear.
I think so too. He has a collaboration with West Coast Choppers here in the U.S.
No way.
Yeah, he has a collaboration, and the merch is awesome. Like you look at all the gear or all the merch from all the other drivers and the teams, and it's nothing compared to what Kimi Räikkönen has. So
If you don't know what West Coast choppers are, it's a custom made motorcycle that they're like $30,000 to $50,000 for these things. They're incredibly uncomfortable. They don't have suspension. They're made just to look good. They're
Mm,
super slow, but people spend tons of money on them. And
yeah.
when I think of a West Coast chopper guy, I think of a white man in his mid 40s with a beer gut and a beard.
Yeah, and the West Coast chopper guys, they're pretty intense because there's not many people out there that are spending 50 grand on a motorcycle, especially one that maybe doesn't fit all the criteria of like being
Oh
comfortable,
no,
being
extremely
fast.
uncomfortable. They
Yeah,
just look crazy.
that's so
Nobody
funny.
buys choppers because it's like I want to ride it 5,000 miles. They put it on a trailer and drive it somewhere and show it off.
And show it off. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to get something from the site, and I'm gonna try to get it signed. I think that'd be really cool because this is
That'd
gonna
be
be his
awesome.
last season. So
Yeah.
hopefully we can get a picture with him or something. That'd be the most awesome thing ever. So Kimmy, huge fans. Hopefully we can see you, and I wonder what's gonna be next for him. I wonder what he's gonna do after this. Is he just gonna be chilling with his family? Is he gonna try to do another sport? I think he's gonna be chilling because I think he's done with the whole traveling and motorsports and stuff like that.
All I know is he won the 2018 U.S. Grand Prix. Let's get him in the 2021 Grand Prix.
Yes,
Let's see him
absolutely.
win that in Alfa Romeo.
Yeah.
At least top three, maybe. I'd love to see it. I think that'd be awesome to see it live.
Yeah. No, and if he finishes in the points, I think that's going to be a good thing for me too. Seeing him finish in the points in that race.
Hmm.
So definitely really excited to see him and best of luck.
Yeah, we're gonna miss the old man in racing.
Yeah, the old man. Have you
It's gonna
seen
be a
that
much
picture
more
of him?
boring
Have
thing.
you seen that picture of him where he's like, 20 years later still here?
No, I have not.
So, yeah, I mean, huge legacy. We'll look forward to seeing him live, and we'll see what the rest of the season holds for him. So hopefully he can get some points.
Yeah, no, I mean let's like I said, we said the Williams wouldn't do it, and they did it. Now let's say Kimi Räikkönen won't do it.
Yeah, and I know in other news, there's been a lot of driver moves lately. They haven't confirmed anything. I know Sergio Perez has already been confirmed for Red Bull for 2022.
Yeah, as soon as he wiped out into the wall.
It was just before too. This is
Yeah.
quite the way to enter your weekend of getting signed. There's a couple of other drivers that are moving around, and it's just a matter of time. I think this Grand Prix that's coming up, I think they're going to announce everything.
By then, yeah, they definitely should. I mean, you never know, but Alfa Romeo is probably gonna have two new racers. It's gonna
Yeah,
be
yeah.
interesting to
So
see.
for
People say Bottas to Alfa Romeo. Obviously, we won't know any of that. That's just a rumor.
yeah, I think Russell is going to be with Mercedes. Bottas might go with
Alfa Romeo.
Alfa Romeo, I mean, it's a possibility that he might go with Williams. But right now, the conversation with Williams is that Latifi is pretty much guaranteed to stay on the team,
Hmm.
and that they're going to sign the Formula E champion that just won. I don't know how to say his name, but I think it's like Nick DeVries or something like that. DeVries.
Oh yeah, DeVry University, Nick DeVry.
Yeah, he recently won the Formula E championship, and I think that kind of won him his seat with Williams. So
I
it'll
could
be
see it. I could
it'll
see it.
yeah, it'll be interesting if we get a new player completely. But the other person that's been
One who
contended,
didn't pay for their seat.
yeah,
Yeah.
one that earned it. But the other person that might be in contention for that seat, I've heard, is Alex Albon. So that'll be really interesting because he's a Red Bull driver. He's currently the reserve driver for Red Bull. So it'll be interesting if he actually ends up joining that team. Maybe that means his relationship with Red Bull is over and he's now on his own. But it'll be really interesting that the fact that the grid is changing quite a bit. And
Yeah,
when
all I know
originally
is
we
by
thought
the
it
end of the
wasn't.
season there will be a lot of changes.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's gonna be cool to watch it play out.
Yeah, and originally I didn't think there was going to be much going on. So it's interesting how the turn of events, in the past like 2 weeks even, there's been so many changes. Kimi, retiring, all these rumors of Russell going to Mercedes, Bottas going to Alpha, and then new drivers coming in and old drivers coming back in. So it'll be interesting to see where the grid goes. I feel really bad for Giovinazzi. I was a really big fan of him. He's an Italian driver. Italy, huge fans of F1, and so to see him possibly leave, it's a little upsetting for me because I am an Antonio Giovinazzi fan. I really like his character. I really like his drive style, but I guess maybe he's just hasn't been impressive.
Hey, the supporters want to see points, the investors want to see points, and I mean a lot of it still comes down to the team and the car. And
Yeah,
but I think a good driver can make an okay car into a midfield team. But I guess we'll find out. That's the exciting part about it, you know. There's a lot of
Yeah.
speculation. We're
Yeah.
not going to know till they do it.
Yeah, we'll see in the next few. I would hope the next few days they're gonna announce everything because the rumors are just
Ooh,
strong right now.
no, I
But
could see it be weeks.
yeah, it might be till the end of the season where we don't find
There's a
out.
lot of money being moved around,
Yeah,
and I'm sure Alfa Romeo knew Kimi was planning on retiring. I don't think
yeah,
he just dropped the bomb on him, but
yeah,
so they have a plan in store, but I'm sure they've been talking to people without anybody else knowing, and it's going to be really if they don't choose somebody who's already on the grid, it's going to be interesting.
yeah. And I
Like,
had originally heard of this guy named I don't know how to say his name either, but his name is like Callum Ilott. I
yeah,
think he's Australian or something. And
all the strange names.
he's the Alfa Romeo reserve driver right now, and I think he's going to IndyCar. He just announced it. Most people
Oh,
thought he was
okay.
going to be announcing a seat somewhere else, but in F1. But he's just recently announced that he's going to
Dude,
be joining
more
IndyCar.
more good drivers to IndyCar. That's
Yeah,
what I want.
yeah, and I think I'm
IndyCar
going
is
to be
so fun to
interested in it
watch.
now. Now that a bunch of F1 drivers are going there.
I mean, there's a lot of really good drivers in IndyCar. It's a tough sport. A lot less downforce, still really fast cars. They're really squirrely coming out of the turn. You gotta, you'll see them correct a lot more than F1 cars.
Yeah,
And there's a lot more crashes because there's more people on the grid.
so it'll be interesting. Again, these are all just rumors right now, but we'll see in the next few days, weeks, what ends up happening with the grid. Moving on to predictions for the weekend. My
Yes,
favorite
to
part,
Zandvoort.
at Zandvoort. It's
So
you
sorry,
pronounce the V as an
Z
F.
Zandvoort.
You pronounce the D as a T and the V as an F. So it's Zandvoort.
You know what? I'm from Texas. That's Zandvoort.
That's Zandvoort.
We going all the way. They driving goddamn Zandvoort. They're gonna turn left.
Do a little straight bit.
Yeah,
Do a
but
little
this a
hairpin.
little hairpin, little turn, and then woo. This is a really interesting track.
Yeah.
A lot of Formula One drivers say it's more of an old school style track. It has those big sweeping turns that kind of angle you, pushes you down towards the inside. You can carry a ton of speed through those turns. Only two DRS zones. One's pretty short, and then one is across the checkered flag, which is the longest one. So there is room for overtaking. Turns might be tricky. I think the weather prediction is going to be good. Going to be nice, good weather.
What's nice,
Not
good
too hot.
weather? Let's clarify that after the spa weekend.
Partly cloudy. I don't think there's any rain predicted as of right now.
So it'll be a non-rain race at a racetrack that was introduced in 1952. So this is a really old track, but it hasn't been in circulation much, right?
Yeah, no, I think they started it back up in 2019. I'm not sure if that's the truth, but I know they had a long stint where they didn't do it. But way back when this was original, 52, this map was huge. I mean, the track was double the size, a lot more straights, a lot less turns.
Okay.
So over the years, they've condensed it. It looked more like Le Mans back then. It
Oh
had a
wow.
crazy long straight. It had like two sort of tight turns, three tight turns, and then just big straights in between. So this one definitely is more dynamic, more meant for the new Formula One cars.
Mm.
And it's wide enough that I mean, it's still a pretty tight track compared to a lot of other ones, but it's wide enough that they can go too wide into a turn and not like
Yeah.
absolutely destroy each other.
Yeah, I recently downloaded F1 2020 and I played this track and it is a tough track. It is definitely not an easy track. Maybe it's because I still need to get used to the game, but it's a tough track and so it'll be really interesting to see how people qualify because, because it's such a technical track, it's really going to separate, as they say, the boys from the men, I think.
It's a cool track. Definitely, I can see it being called old school because it has the classic long straight through the checkered flag, through the start finish. A lot of windy bits. I love the way it's like built into the side of a hill. So two or three of those turns, well, it looks like three turns, have huge side sweeping movements. So it's going to be cool to see. I hope they get good camera angles of those cars, like
Hmm.
really pushing it, sliding the tires a little bit going into those turns. It's gonna be sweet. But
So exciting track.
predictions,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Moving on to predictions. I'll let you go first because I know you're pretty passionate about the predictions, and I know you. We were talking earlier this week, and I know you were telling me about how last time we predicted Williams, and sure enough, they get a podium. So, what are you thinking this week?
Kimi Räikkönen. But in all seriousness, I could see it being Verstappen. People say this is his race. This is his track. This is his people's. Hamilton and Verstappen are going to be close. This is going to be a really interesting race for the points. I hope they both finish the race instead of, I really want to see him finish. I think they will because there's not crazy speed being drawn in on the first lap. If I'm going to say it, I think either one of the McLaren drivers top three, and
Oh.
then Verstappen pole.
And anyone else on the podium?
It really comes down to qualifying for this one because the overtakes are going to be nice and tight. There's maybe two good spots for real DRS overtakes, which is people love to see it. So, yeah, I got a good feeling it's going to be Verstappen.
I have a good feeling it's going to be Lewis. As much as I want Max to win this one, I think Lewis is going to have a pretty good advantage because actually there's something that they recently did to their car, and it's got to deal with the engine sensors that Red Bull's actually done a query into Mercedes F1 engine sensors with the FIA. So I don't know what that means for this weekend, but I know that means they're going to start looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
I think right now they do have a big advantage, and especially on straights like that, I think the Mercedes has a lot of potential.
Oh, yeah.
So I think at least the Mercedes podium for sure. Max is definitely going to get a podium, and I know this is boring because I did it last time, but I think there's going to be a Ferrari possibly, but I don't know because
No, see, I have the complete opposite opinion. If we're talking teams, I think McLaren's going to do really well. Red Bull's obviously going to be somewhere mixed in top three, top five, but I think Ferrari is going to be back. Like, I really think, what was it, Alpine? I say Alpine, but it's Alpine.
Mm-hmm.
I think Alpine's going to be doing better than Ferrari. I think they're going to get more total points, at least constructors wise,
Gotcha.
in this one.
So you think overall as a team they're going to do better than Ferrari?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Ferrari doesn't do. I don't think they do well in tracks like this. They do well in tracks like Monaco. They do well in tracks like Baku. So kind of close, knit, not
Yeah,
super
really,
wide
really
tracks.
tight racing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think so. Like, if you had to say it, you're saying Max Verstappen win. I'm gonna go ahead and go against the team that I root for, and I'm gonna say a Lewis Hamilton win. And I know it's gonna be because of some bullshit that's gonna happen. And so those are my predictions. I think we're going to see those teams on the podium. I think we're going to see those people win. And we'll just have to see. Hopefully it's a fun weekend because, after last weekend, we didn't get a race. We did get good qualifying, so hopefully we get good qualifying and a good race.
A lot of it's going to come down to qualifying. As always, pit stops. Or, they give Hamilton a great chance to hop into the pits while there's a safety car out and he gets to come back P1. You never know.
Yeah, the strategy is going to be interesting. I'm not familiar with this track at all, so I don't know what strategies are good to put in place. But yeah, I'm really excited. For the
lot of
weekend.
downforce, speed through those
Yeah,
turns, getting
I
out of
bet.
those turns as fast as possible. But I have a good feeling about McLaren. As always, I want to see Verstappen take first this weekend. So Hamilton's going to actually have to step it up, and the news is like, oh, Hamilton, is he slipping? Second half of the season. I want that
You want
drama
that
to still be
drama.
there. I don't want Hamilton to just blast through and be 15 seconds faster than everybody else and be like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, this is going to be the end of the season. Hamilton's going to do this the whole time.
Oh man. Okay.
Verstappen's got to keep it close. I could see McLaren doing really well as a team this track, better than Ferrari. I think Ferrari's going to be in the back in 9, 10, something like that.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. So I guess we've just got the weekend now to play out, and I'm sure we'll do some videos post race. Maybe we'll try to upload something before. But it'll be a really interesting weekend, and hopefully we get some good racing.
Yeah, we're going to do the same bet as always. I'm betting $500. He's betting a Whataburger coupon.
Yeah.
Whataburger coupon.
The buy one get one free coupon. So
Yeah,
it's a pretty
yeah.
good coupon.
It's a pretty good deal. I mean, if you're really hungry, it's a good deal.
If you're hungry and
But
broke,
anyways.
it's the perfect deal.
Yeah.
So we'll follow up and yeah, we'll see y'all then.